Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this little silly goose. She's just been running around on my shirt. She is a loud sniffer. She has just been sniffing, and I can hear her sniffing from quite a distance. Oh, she's chewing on my shirt now. But she is a little sweetie. This is little Saber / Cream of the Hamster band, Cookies and Cream. And she is a sweetheart. Her nose is getting less stubby and more regular hamster-like, so she's looking less like she's got some sort of chromosomal disadvantage. And she's an absolute sweetheart. When I woke her up, because I woke her up, when I woke her up, she actually had a piece of cannabis stuck to her. And it was, did you hear that? Holy smoke, she snorted. But she had a piece of cannabis stuck to her, and I had to pull it off. It was like literally glued to her fur. There we go, little one. You can go back to sleep now. I had to wake her up, and I feel kind of bad about that, but I like to show off my hamsters because they're just absolute sweethearts, and so I woke her up because I'm cruel and vicious and mean. Some days I will leave them alone, and other days, well, I'm just gonna wake them up. They are, I think, I gotta move my legs. They're like, I think the term, right off the top of my head, I'm forgetting because I'm getting it mixed up with the sound that your joints make. But they're like crepuscular, but that sound could be the one that your joints make. They are active, most active during the hours of dusk and dawn. Both those 2 hours is when they're most awake. They will adapt to your schedule. So you can annoy them at times that aren't natural for them, and they will adapt to it. They may not be happy, and you want to make it a schedule so it's not just random, but they can and do adapt to not just dusk and dawn schedules. And since I come in here whenever I wake up and I immediately flick the light on, and then the light basically stays on until I go to bed, anywhere from 9 at night until midnight. You know, that kind of throws off your whole circadian rhythm too. So these poor little guys are, no, she's running around. I scared her by whipping my hand into the cage again. I gotta stop doing that. I'm startling her. She is skittish that way. Whenever she sees movement, it freaks her out. And then I tend to keep whipping my hand into the cage. And she just, well, not even whipping my hand into the cage. I just have to make quick, fast movements over the top of that. And she just, you can see her little feet go out like that as she stops. So I don't mean to scare her. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm bringing the lid over to help so that when I'm waving my arms around, it isn't going to startle her every time I move. That'll help out. She'll be able to rest and sleep, and that'll be good. Definitely a thumbs up. They're all cuties. She's just a bit skittish that way to movement still. I can move over here, and then I can see out of the corner of my eye in the cage against the wall when she suddenly goes woof because of my movement over here. So she is super, super skittish that way. I mean, but she is super friendly, as you saw. She climbs around in my hands, and that's awesome. No real huge subject to yammer about today. Just a bunch of, well, maybe not even a bunch, just a couple minor things. Like today, it was just, I want to make like I've said before, I want to make a Greebly t-shirt design, and this is my flying pancake t-shirt design. And not just t-shirts, too. I want to make, you know, go on to Teespring and get like pillows and posters and stuff, which means I need to actually get on there, upload the design, and then order it so I can show it off and go, hey, this is what it really looks like. Do you want to buy one? Go to this place right down here and do that. Because, yeah, I want to make like a better drawn doodle of that as a t-shirt type with the words, you know, yes, I do like anthropomorphic breakfast foods as the words. The one with the Greebly is just going to be the word like Gfnurb. and then the picture of a greebly. So, thumbs up. The greebly is just that two-headed thing. That one-headed thing with the 2 feet that runs around. That's a greebly. We named them as a child, I and a friend who we drew those as a child. About 10 years ago, that childhood friend of mine, whom I think about not every day, but probably a good once a month, because it was such a major part of my childhood, from like not age, but 4th grade when I met this fellow to we drifted away just before and during the beginning part of high school. You know, that was a huge part of my growing up, and I think about this fellow all the time. And after like 10 years ago, I found him on Facebook. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember you. I was like, oh, well, I made a big impression on your life too, didn't I? Yeah, I think about you almost every day, but you think about me like decades later because I happen to remind you of it. Oh well. I did want to talk about some things from my childhood though. In fact, specifically the house I grew up in and my general feelings of, which are now very complicated, feelings of irritation toward my parents. Because my grandfather, the guy who used to beat me with his belt almost every day, built the house that we grew up in. As much as I may not have liked the man, and I tried, I was a kid, I wanted to love him, he was my grandfather. But he built the house and it was really cool. There was a basement, and it was a big basement, and with a workshop area in it. And then the first floor, there was the kitchen, and then there was a huge dining room with the connecting hallway here, and then another bedroom just off the kitchen with the hallway, and then the master bedroom over there with the bathroom, and then the end of that hallway, they had those little cubby holes where you popped open the lid and you'd shove your clothing down inside, and it would fall down into the basement washing room, utility room, where the washer and dryer were, and they would fall down into one of the basket things that were there, sinks, and then you just take the clothing and put them into the washer and dryer. So you just shoved them down the hatch when you were ready to have stuff washed. And then of course you went up the next stairwell, you know, because there was the stairs down into the basement. There was the stairs that went upstairs where there was just 2 rooms. There was a room which just had an arch, and then it was open, no door. That was my sister's room. And then I had a room off the other direction. You turned off to the left, you went to her room. You turned off in my direction, there was a door, and then my room was inside of there. It had, because of the high peaking roof, my bedroom ceiling was at the slanty thing. So, and amazingly, it was well built enough that for the longest time, I grew up in a waterbed. I had a waterbed up on the top floor of our house growing up, and I had hoped that I would be able to continue to live in that house as I got older. You know, taking on the house and such, but after I moved out, getting older, and then I got into the Air Force, came back, bummed around, didn't have any place to go, got a job, got a home, moved out, not a home, an apartment. And so I was on my own again. And then while I was out and doing things, because the house was one of 4 homes on one corner. And this was back in the 1960s in Bellingham, Washington. And when there were those 4 homes right there, everything else was, there was the occasional house, but not much. There was huge open fields. There were ponds where we went and we caught frogs. We would gather up frog eggs and then kill the tadpoles because we were kids, and we'd knock over the buckets of water and they'd all dry out on the sidewalk. So, unfortunately. But we'd go out into the woods and get frogs. I mean, we'd gather up coffee cans. Back when coffee came in big, like 1-gallon cans, you'd put whatever you wanted in the coffee cans, and we'd fill up an entire container with frogs and then just play with the frogs. And that was just open all around. So our yard We had a front yard, a side yard, well, and another side yard, and then a backyard, which I considered it our backyard. It was actually the front. But on the front yard, you could almost fit what they use for houses now. You could have fit 2 or 3 for the side yard, another 2 for the front yard, and another standard lot for home on the side. And I don't mean big lots. I mean that standard lots these days, when they're like a half of what is that, a half acre or a quarter acre, you know, it's just big enough for the tiny house, and then if you lean out far enough, you're gonna knock on your neighbor's window. That's housing today. And so there was none of that, and we had huge yards, and it took a long time on a riding lawnmower to mow the lawns, even longer when pushing the thing. But it would have been my hope that I would have been able to grow up there. And instead, my parents, as they were getting older, they just sold it. Then bought a tiny, tiny, tiny little house in Bellingham, and then sold that and moved into another smaller town just like 10 minutes away from Bellingham. So my home that I grew up in and was hoping to grow up in, gone. Oh well. So I felt irritation and anger towards my parents for that, and it's conflicted now, of course, I say, because in April my mother died, which was unfortunate. She was a twin, and her twin sister, because they both smoked when younger, her twin sister had lung cancer, had to have a couple lobes of a lung removed, has been fine. My mother got lung cancer, had a couple lobes removed. They didn't get everything, I believe, because she continued to lose 40 and 50 pounds after her surgery and felt sick, sick, sick every day since then. And then like 6 months afterward, just woke up, felt awful, and while the 911 team was on the way, died. And they couldn't revive her when they were there. And then, of course, my father, who relied upon my mother for everything, went and had another stroke. So he's living in a nursing home now. I don't know his status or stat. Or status or not stat. What the heck is the word I was looking for? I'm not sure. I do not know his status at the moment. Luckily, he was my stepfather. He had 3 daughters, all of whom were anywhere from 10 to 20 years older than I am, so they're kind of up there now. His oldest daughter must be in her 70s now. So, and her husband died of a heart attack like 10 years ago, so that was unfortunate there. But luckily, all 3 of his daughters are taking care of him because I'm stuck down here. They all live up there in that area. I can't even drive around in town without being shamed for driving my own car. So I can't go driving. I had wanted to visit my parents this summer, but the best laid plans went and put it off just 1 year too many. And I remember my stepfather telling me when we moved here, I and my wife, that this was the last time that they were going to get our help. And I was like, oh, why are you punishing me? And it's like, no, it's our age. Anytime we're not going to be able to. And yeah, just, boy, because we moved here in like 2006, 2007, 2008. It's right around 2007, 2008 we moved to Shelton here. And that was just like 10 years ago. And during that time, my mother's died, my father's. So yeah, that was the last time I was going to get any help. Not saying, gosh, they're not going to help me. I'm just saying, gosh, so much changes in so little a time. Life is life, though. On my Amazon wish list, which I have an Amazon wish list, if you could check that out, if you could, and I know they're expensive, and I'm very sorry about this, but I need a good space heater that's not going to either just die before the winter's over or not die as soon as the winter's over. So they're a little bit more expensive radiator heaters, but I don't want my hamsters to freeze and it gets cold at night. So if someone could pick up like a space heater off my Amazon wish list, I hate to ask, but if you could, that would be awesome. Do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. I am just asking, if possible, to try and give me a hand. Do not feel obligated. I've also opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me comments. It is a range of 20 to 25 because even though because of my fibro and depression and brain damage and widower brain and more, it's difficult for me to remember things. Even though I count in American Sign Language, there we go, I was getting it all out of order, on the fingers of this hand, I still get confused. And if I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. I am an American English speaker. We're not wonderful at pronouncing names, but I'm better than most. And of course, I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm going to read them after the video. Thumbs up each when I read, answer as many as I can, but for right now, I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. Good comment, bad comment, indifferent comment. You took the time to leave a comment. Thank you very much. So let me call it my Chrome. And we have, I think it's Sharks, SCH4RX. Apparently he's German, or she is German, I'm not sure, but thank you very, very much. And some guy named Jamie, son of a gun, and thank you. And Maher Dowdy Naeem, I am so sorry, but thank you very, very much. And Der Levant, thank you very, very much. It said, does he really do 1,447? No, I've actually done 1,647 reaction videos by this time. Woof. And a little syrup, thank you very, very much. Tony Bennett, greatly appreciated. Tundra Keeper, good to see you in the comments. The Mix J, thumbs up and thank you. Esteban, greatly appreciated. Tyler Hebert, I sure hope I'm close, thank you. Poof85, thumbs up and thank you. And we have Cruzando Anonymous, I sure hope I'm close. New York Giants, oh my nose with it. Thank you very, very much. And Sandra Claus, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Caitlin Yates, thumbs up and thank you. Cat Mama, thank you and thumbs up. Naruto Uzumaki, thank you very, very much. And Artur Targian, I sure hope I'm close. Thank you very, very much. Cassandra Finch, thumbs up and thank you. The Weird Autumn, best kind of autumn. Fake It Away, thumbs up and thank you. And Grampy's Gone Wild, thumbs up. Herbal Attraction 3000, I don't know if I was on 2, 3, 4 or what, but thumbs up and thank you. Kimmer Epic, greatly appreciated. And last but not least, Get Over It Laughing, thumbs up and thank you. Have a great day, each and every one of you. Thumbs up and thank you so very, very much for having left me a comment. As stated, whether you're just a troll, and there are, or you're a wonderful person who just likes to leave comments with people, or you're somebody in between like most people, thank you very, very much. It is appreciated greatly. I have various links down below if you can check those out. There's Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, Google+. I can't speak English today. My sincere apologies. I haven't been able to speak English properly all this morning. Yay. But if you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, thank you so very, very much. It is beautiful and awesome. It is because of you, literally, I can pay rent to live. I get to buy food. I am so appreciative. Thank you so very, very much, each and every one of you who has donated and become a Patreon.com patron. You continue to make sure I'm living under a roof. I appreciate that so very, very much. But if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes. I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. Definitely a thumbs up. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be cool. I would understand if you don't want to, but if you are down with it, I will do my best to keep you entertained from now until the literal end of time, which hopefully will be at least 20 years. I want my 74 or more. I want 84. I want to live as long as my stepdad has. He's almost 90. So I want at least that. Who do I complain to? Anyway though, hopefully a reaction video, hopefully a game video for my game channel. That would definitely be a cool thing. So you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that, my friend, is a very good thing. I forgot to plug my lava lamp in on time. I'm sorry, it's so sad.